Hi, folks. John Dunn, RPG freelancer, publisher behind Meliorvia, up here at Immortals Inc. tonight. I'm here with Mikey.
What is up, John? How's it going?
Good. And over here, I got Carlos.
Hey.
So, going to talk a little more Starfinder tonight. Another book that just came into the store is Starfinder Interstellar Species.
Is that because it just got released?
It came out back in November, so it's a pretty recent
I'm
release.
sure I've had this before, right?
You keep telling yourself that, buddy. I didn't ask you back in August to get it or anything. Don't you worry.
Once again, go on, John.
So lead developer on this guy by the name of Joe Piscini. He had a big cast of authors and artists involved in it. This is a very pretty book. It's got a lot of gorgeous pictures, but it also has an awful lot of content for the players. If you're making up a new character for a Starfinder campaign, this is a book you very seriously want to consider. Why do I say that? Well, first off, there's some more class content. It introduces the evolutionist class. This is kind of a Starfinder take on a druid, a shapeshifter type. Can get into some very specific niches with eldritch, mechanical, biological, and undead options. And it can be set up with mutation points. It's kind of a cool way of doing druid type shapeshifting as a class option in a very Starfinder-esque sci-fiction-y way. You also get class options for the envoy, the mechanic, the operative, and the soldier. All character classes from the core that kind of tie into different species approaches. And then content for the biohacker from the character operations manual, the nanosite from Tech Revolution, and the precog from Galactic Magic. For biohacker, you get instant recalibration. You get a new drone chassis for mechanics. You get heavyweight skirmisher as an option for operative that really completely changes the way that class works. I was kind of impressed at how different that was from the usual way you do operative. And if you're a fan of explosives, and I know some people are real big fans of using explosives with their characters, there is a mine menace option for soldiers.
Okay.
Yeah, so if
okay,
you
mine
want to be
menace.
planting landmines around, yeah, you can have fun with
That's
that.
dangerous, dude.
Absolutely.
Might do some friendly fire.
That's the first big chunk of the book, talking about classes. After that, the next big chunk of the book talks about species. It opens with a 5-page table of all of the playable species in Starfinder. Any guesses how many playable species there are for Starfinder now, guys?
I would say 748.
That's a little high.
48.
It's actually over 100.
Oh,
So-
nice.
yeah,
So,
so-
like, in between. Not really.
100 playable species is a lot
That is.
of options for really any RPG. Now, they've had a lot of sources. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I disbelieve you, but go on.
Well, I mean, I can
No,
bring up the
it's-
table for you
yeah, I
if you'd
know.
like.
Yeah,
but
that's
He has the
So-
literal evidence in front of you.
a lot of those come from their monster books. So their alien archives are their monster books. And a lot of the species
Oh.
in those, they give you stats for using them as playable characters.
got it.
And there's 4 volumes of alien archives right now.
All right. It's
Yeah.
okay. That would be just like D&D with all the playable characters now.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yep.
I believe you again.
But there's also a custom species builder included here. So if you can't find any of those 100-ish that you like, there's rules here for making your own.
Oh, that's called the problem child. The min-maxer.
So you go through a process of building your species where you cover the game mechanics, you cover the species physiology, you cover their culture, and then you consider how they interact with other species. Often that's a really big factor in it. I know I've certainly played in games before where my character species hated somebody else's character because of their species choice. That can make for, a fun interaction. You can do the reverse of that too, though, where 2 species like feed off of each other, and can build a fun campaign off of that too.
Oh, wait. So there's mechanics in there that you can make the new species, but you have to follow the mechanics so it works in the game.
Exactly.
So you don't
yeah.
get the overpowered.
No, well,
You could.
I'm sure there's some way to
Okay.
play with the numbers enough to make yourself slightly overpowered, but no, there's a mechanical system
Okay.
for creating what should be a balanced species.
So they took that in consideration.
Yes.
Okay, they didn't just let you go.
No, they
hog
didn't
wild.
just say, write down some numbers. No, there's a game
I'd
system
like to
for
play
doing it.
God.
That's what the game master does.
I'd like to be that.
And then you do get detailed write-ups of 25 species in here. Those write-ups include descriptions of the species, descriptions of their home world, their society, and other species-specific elements. So, what their proclivities are. Maybe even some suggestions about what classes and what kind of builds might be most relevant for them. The stuff that's in there does vary going through the different species, so it's not like they just took a template and said, cut and paste, cut and paste, cut and paste. No, you get gear, you get feats, you get spells that tie into these different species. So you get a pretty decent range of variety as you're looking through the different ones. A couple of the examples that jumped out at me were uplifted bears, because who doesn't want to play a sapient bear, right?
That's Camp World.
Yeah,
all day.
bears
Okay,
are
fair.
really relevant right now.
Throw back to another podcast.
You get
That's-
dragonkin, you get kobolds, you get formians. So formians are ant people. You get the Hanekin, which are basically sapient raptors.
Did you say Anakin's?
Close. These ones have two hands.
Oh, got him. Burned him.
Vlaka, which are basically sapient wolf people. Yeah. Like I said, there's 25 of them in here, in addition to stuff that's been presented elsewhere. After we get through that species section, then there's a section which are basically just NPCs. These are example characters that leverage a lot of the different species. There's 40 pages of them. They're broken down by archetypes. It's a lot of stuff. If you're the game master and you need a character for a situation, you can probably find something right here that will just feed right in. Now, I did say this book's mostly targeted at players, but that chunk of it, the GM may want to have for themselves. In addition, for each one that's there, you also get challenge rating variants and species variants for them. So you're not locked in just going, oh, look, every merchant has to be a human. No, you can swap in some other options there. There's not a ton of role-playing notes. They're mostly stat lines, but there are some suggestions for how you might mix things up a little bit. It's a lot of content here. There's a lot of great tools here that you can really leverage for your Starfinder campaign, especially if you're looking at starting up a new one. This would be a great tool to have on hand to make your campaign very different from previous ones you might have run. Definitely give it a flip through, take a look, or just hop on at Immortals.com and look for yourself. All right, stop in and take a look, though.
Remember those Barlow's, those old 70s books, the Barlow's Guide to
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to bring that in, and I want you to go through that and make all those species. Remember those books?
Oh, yeah.
You probably wouldn't know. They were like, came out, I think these.
Science Fiction Book Club practically gave them away if you were
Yeah,
doing
but
that
like
thing.
now,
But yeah.
now that, in my collection at home of crap, I have those in there.
Yeah, I remember the Elder Thing from Lovecraft stuff was almost always on the cover of one of those.
Yeah. I also have a giant wanted poster of all these aliens. Do you remember that?
Oh, I totally do. Yeah.
Oh my god! But anyway, that would be cool. I could see where that would cross over if anybody wants to try and find those Barlow's Guide. I bet you if I bring it in, probably half those aliens are in there.
It wouldn't surprise me at all. All right. Till next time, folks. Good gaming.
Later.